Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the NXT review series for the 15th of this particular 15th of March, 2011. Which they're in season 5, which is a new season with the same old rookies, kind of bringing them out. Everyone kind of does the promo challenge, promising that they're going to avenge themselves. Darren Young gets on the outside of the ring. Conor O'Brien kind of looks like he's going to talk things out. Lucky Cannon talks about being lucky, and there's a lot of hype around all this talk. Literally, they waste nearly 12 minutes before even getting a match in the ring, or even talking about getting a match in the ring on this redemption show. Titus O'Neil says he ultimately doesn't like the fact that he hasn't made it thus far. Conor O'Brien is out there. Vladimir Kozlov is there. Darren Young is out there a second week in a row with his pro. Chavo Guerrero Jr., which, I don't know, it's fine. O'Brien obviously has the power advantage and uses it relatively early in the match. O'Brien later becomes a member of the Ascension. Shove off, which looks actually pretty weak, but the kick that follows up isn't too bad. Send through the middle rope on the inside. Kozlov is reasonably satisfied with O'Brien. And then we see kind of a bit of toss work. Ultimately, step over on the arm and some really basic things. Darren Young manages to take a couple of shots along the way, inverted atomic drop among other things, and manages to do everything that's here that he possibly can to get an advantage. Young then manages to power up his opponent onto his shoulders, almost like a Finley roll type maneuver, and then instead drops him knee first into a gutbuster type maneuver and gets a second victory in as many weeks. Highlights of Raw. Good run for several minutes. Yoshitatsu again tries flirting with Maurice, who doesn't seem to take him too terribly seriously. However, ultimately, Lucky Cannon is there and also tries to flirt. Basically, Lucky says there's no way that his process is going to work out, and then Lucky Cannon tries to flirt. Jacob Novak is out here again, talking about how he's probably one of the better guys in the area of NXT. Then we see highlights of how Dolph Ziggler botched things and everything up that way. Lucky Cannon and TJP are one team in the next match on the docket here. And Yoshitatsu and his pro are the other team, Yoshitatsu and Byron Saxton. They seem to be a little awkward. Tatsu, I don't really remember as being a major guy here. I think he's still in New Japan now, though, trying to do, more of a sports-based style. Obviously, the WWE's been in many years, needless to say. Shots on Tyson Kidd, Tatsu, and Kidd going back and forth. Kidd a lot better in the ring than I remember, but it's been almost a decade since I've seen his work, so that makes sense to me. Obviously, he got paralyzed by a botched muscle buster with Samoa Joe. Round kick that looks pretty good. Back round kick looks pretty good from Yoshitatsu. Tatsu kind of doing the Warrior armband things in red. Byron Saxton does pretty well about encouraging his pro on and is pretty intense with it. One thing I will say, Byron Saxton is better as a wrestling performer than he is as a announcer type person, just because he's got more charisma that way. Anyway, basically a roll up and a gut wrench suplex, followed by a scissors into basic things there, and ultimately Lucky Cannon is keeping his opponent down pretty good for the foreseeable future, ties him up a bit, and gets all that he can out of things there. Byron Saxton comes in, tries to get a pin on Tyson Kidd, which obviously is not going to happen very aggressively or consistently. And I mean, ultimately, there is a upkick and then followed by kind of a backward diving DVD driver by Lucky Cannon, and Byron Saxton gets pinned in the process, which is fine. Then they go back to Raw highlights. Not exactly anything worth writing home about by any stretch of the imagination. Going on for several minutes, and the miscommunication almost feels like Tyson Kidd feels shown up by Lucky Cannon. Cannon, though, trying to get over a more brash character, and that kind of goes in that general direction for the foreseeable future. And then highlights on Titus O'Neil, another challenge deal, where they do the keg spot, which, again, keg spot is goofy, but they do it nearly every season with this. Also, a lot of talking. Lucky Cannon basically says he shouldn't have to do things like this, and ultimately we close out with Lucky Cannon again flirting with his opponent, and then Titus O'Neil wins this particular keg-style challenge, and there we go. To close the show, Hornswoggle and Titus O'Neil hug. What a weird combination that is, but anyway, we'll be back with more right after this.